Welcome to Berm Park, or the hill we're building it on. Here will sit a bike park for the people. A free public facility that caters to mountain bikers of all skill levels. From toddlers on balance bikes all the way up to seasoned shredders. And it's being built thanks in part to this audience, specifically those of you on Patreon. Construction will begin this summer, and if all goes well, many of you will be booking trips to ride Berm Park in fall 2021. These flags are the beginning of what will be Berm Park. Every one of these leads to a trail, the best trails that modern technology can possibly build. Is that too big of a stretch? The last time we spoke about Berm Park, it didn't have a name. There were no flags in the ground, and I had not signed any construction contracts. So it might be helpful to recap some of the finer details. First of all, this is Chestnut Mountain, the site of a park being built by the town of Canton. It will feature hiking and biking trails, campsites, and much of the infrastructure you would expect at a public park. But it's on this little foothill at the base of Chestnut Mountain that Berm Park will be constructed. So Berm Park is a park within a park. In this bike park zone, the trails will be single-use and directional. This eliminates conflicts between trail users. It makes for a safer descent through rollers, berms, tabletops, cannons, doubles, wall rides, and well, I think you get the picture. So all that back there is Chestnut Mountain. That is the greater park, the 400 acres that all those hiking trails and mountain bike trails are on. This is gonna be a place you can bring your entire family, and no matter what they're into, as long as they like being outside, they're gonna love this place. Building Berm Park within a larger park lets us take advantage of existing infrastructure, like parking and campsites. It also gives your friends and family who may not ride something to do. Here, piggy, piggy, piggy. Here, piggy, 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 piggy. He doesn't respond like a cat would. While you run laps at Berm Park. And should you decide to take a longer, more traditional ride on the trails the town is building, your ride will actually end at the top of Berm Park. So to recap, Chestnut Mountain represents this entire space at large. It's a multi-use community park with a little something for everyone. Berm Park will exist within Chestnut Mountain and provide a more focused experience for mountain bikers looking to progress their skills. That's the project we're funding and working on. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about Berm Park, so for the remainder of this video, I'm going to list some popular questions and provide answers to them. So once Berm Park is open, all you're gonna have to do is show up with your bike and ride it. You're not gonna have to sign a waiver, you're not gonna have to check in, you're gonna park your car, you're gonna start climbing up the road, and you're gonna ride it. Just like any public trail system, just like the tennis courts near your house, just like the playground. You just go there and you use it. Berm Park is a pedal up jump park. And what that means is that you're gonna have to pedal up a little road to get to the top so that you can go all the way downhill. It's made for trail bikes, hardtail, full suspension, anything you would ride normal mountain bike trails with, that's what this park is gonna be designed for. So when I was originally looking for spots to build this park, I was just striking out, nobody would talk to me. Who do you talk to at a town where you could be like, hey, is there a spot I could build a bike park here?
Hey, I'm Nick Scheuer. I'm the Assistant Town Manager with the Town of Canton. There's been lots of studies done that show what mountain biking and what outdoor recreation can do for a community. Growing up mountain biking, being passionate about the outdoors, it was a no-brainer for us and our board and our mayor to get on board with just building something for future generations.
So not only are there mountain bikers in Canton local government, but Canton was doing a mountain bike related project, and the location happens to put it really close to the population center in Asheville.
Originally, this site was slated to become a NASCAR training facility. The backup offer for this property was actually going to be a rock quarry.
The community didn't like it. And so they eventually had to stop construction and they just left it. And everything started getting overgrown, and eventually the Southern Appalachian Highlands Conservancy came in. Now they get donations and they take this donation money and they buy up big plots like the one in Canton. And they did. They bought it, and they actually gifted it back to the town of Canton. There were conditions though. The land had to be used for outdoor recreation.
As our area becomes more and more developed, as more people move here because it's such a great place to live, and we have amazing features and amenities like this, it makes it all the more important to really work towards conservation. When they were working on the development of the NASCAR ring in the early 2000s, they pretty much clear-cut the property. It's been harvested, there's jack pines everywhere, there's lots of invasives, and that's one of the cool things about this project is bringing attention to that property and really bringing it back and working on restoring it back by building sustainable trails that withstand the test of time, that protect the watershed there, by being really smart and deliberate about what we're doing there. Conservation and recreation is the only way we're going to be able to have really cool projects like this happen going forward.
And I think if we look back at Chestnut Mountain 10 years from now, it's going to be in a much better place than it was before this project began. So it was about a year ago when I made the last bike park update, and now I'm projecting that the park is going to be open another year from now. Why is this taking so long? And the answer is, it's a public project. But if it was a private park, I would necessarily have to make it a profitable venture. I would have to make money at it. I would be liable, I would be paying property taxes. I would have to quit YouTube and run a bike park full time, and that's not what I want to do. So a public park is the way to go. It's accessible by more people. It's part of the community, and the community can take ownership of it long after I'm out of the picture. So we're not building a public park because it's the easiest way to do it. We're doing it because it's hard, but it's going to leave us with a really good result. There's no city or town in the entire United States who's going to agree to let me build a park for them. All right? I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to build a bike park. What experience do you have? Oh, I build stuff in my yard. That's not going to fly. So this is going to be built by professionals who shred.
And my name's Peter Mills. I own Elevated Trail Design, a professional trail building firm that I founded in 2011.
I've been working with Peter Mills for the last year and a half to plan out this park, and on his own time, he has been hiking around these woods, measuring, surveying, laying flags, having meetings with me, figuring out exactly what it is that we want.
We're trying to take all the elements that you would find at a ski resort bike park and put those all together into a small, focused area. So imagine a stacked loop system with multiple different options off the top, a varying skill level with one return. And the more advanced line you choose, the farther down the hill you go.
I don't want to gamble with everybody's money. I want to make sure that what we are planning on building is what gets built. It's going to be nice to know that there are professional trail builders who shred out there building these jumps and testing them with their own bikes and making sure that they're safe to ride.
I've got 3 full-time employees that live and breathe mountain biking. The whole reason they're trail builders is because they can't get enough mountain biking in their life.
So Berm Park being a public park, it is owned by the community, it's owned by the town. Now, my patrons and I came up with the name, we came up with the logo, we came up with a lot of ideas for the park. And indeed, I have a lot of control over what's going to be built there. But at the end of the day, the town approves the plans and the town owns the park. Now, once the park is built and I'm finished with it, I'm still gonna have a relationship with Canton. So if we wanna go in and add something or come up with another project, they're gonna hear me out. But that's it. I'm not in charge of it, I'm not the dictator of it. This is gonna be something for the community that's gonna outlast me long after I'm gone. So like many YouTubers, I have a Patreon page where people can pay a few bucks a month for extra content, early content, things like that. A year and a half ago, I made an announcement on there and I said, hey, all this money is gonna go to a public bike park. So over the last year and a half, we've raised about $70,000 from Patreon. This entire park is gonna cost close to $200,000. And so I've been seeking out third-party sponsors to cover the park. I want a few big sponsors to cover entire lines. And we have Diamondback signed on to cover an entire flow trail from top to bottom. So Diamondback's contribution is gonna bring us way closer to where we have to be to cover the park, and one single patron has pledged enough to build an entire line from top to bottom also, and we will speak about him later on in the construction process. And speaking of patrons, none of this would be happening without them. From beginning to end, they're gonna be the ones that are part of the decision-making process. They're gonna be the ones that get the information first, and to me, they're really the ones that are to thank for this park. I signed the construction contract, so every month an invoice is going to come to me, and it has to get paid or I'm on the hook for it. If we don't come up with the money, park's still getting built. I'm just, yeah, my life's going to be ruined. So in a much better scenario, we're gonna have leftover money after we're done building the park. And I think that's gonna be a good thing. We need to save that money for a rainy day. I've never built a bike park. I don't know what type of things we might forget. So it's gonna be nice to have some extra funds lying around so we can just handle those things. When all is said and done, once we have everything we need with this park, if we still have a whole bunch of cash lying around, I'll come up with something to do with it for the mountain bike community, or start saving for another. So a few people have asked, you know, is Cayuga upset about this? Is the Riveter upset about this? I'm of course referring to private bike parks that are in the Asheville metro area. Now there's this free park that everybody can go to. Are we gonna put them out of business? And I don't think that could be further from the case. If you look at a place like Bentonville, they just keep building more and more bike parks and trail systems, and the demand only grows. And so I think the same thing is gonna happen here. It's also worth noting that Cayuga is much bigger. The Riveter is specifically for dirt jumpers and BMX bikes. These parks all offer very, very different things, and mountain bikers love variety. How do I get more cool stuff built by me? There's gonna be a mountain biking advocacy organization in your area that's advocating for you. Anytime there's a question of, should we allow mountain bikers here? Should we build a trail here? They're speaking up for you. Now, in some cases, their interests might not align with yours, but I would go to their Facebook page, I would go to their website, look, do some research, see if you know anybody that's a part of their organization. They might be in the process of trying to build a park in your area. A lot of them are looking for volunteers to help clean up trails. A lot of them are looking for board members to help run the organization, but what they're all really looking for is money. Just to go out and maintain trails here in Pisgah National Forest, you need insurance. And Pisgah Area SORBA has to carry thousands of dollars of liability insurance every single year. You definitely have an ORBA or something similar like that by you. Look into them, ask them what they're up to. They might be in the process of trying to build a park in your area. So as I mentioned, my supporters on Patreon have been giving a couple of bucks every single month, which has totaled up to over $70,000 at the time of this video. But some people don't want to get locked into a monthly fee. So if you want to make a one-time donation for this park, you can follow the link in the description, and there'll be a PayPal button where you can leave whatever amount you want. I do recommend, if you want to give a larger sum, just pay up front on Patreon for the whole year. Don't let it renew, and then you'll get all the updates and all the early videos and all that. I hope that gives you a basic overview of Berm Park and where we're at with this project. If you want to stay as informed as possible about Berm Park, you can of course sign up for my Patreon, or just follow me on Instagram, as well as Chestnut Mountain, Elevated Trail Design, and Pisgah Area SORBA. To everyone supporting this project, I can't wait to actually show you what's in store. Until then, thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.